Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to Fun Facts Daily. I'm your host Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about your bones. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. Tony Stark, the Marvel Comics character who became Iron Man, created a metal suit, almost like a strong exoskeleton. But what if I told you that ounce for ounce, bone is even stronger than steel? What do you think? Is this an actual fact? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Today's word is ossification. Ossification is the process of bone formation. It's how our bodies create new bone tissue. The term comes from the Latin word os, which means bone, and the suffix ificare, which means to make. So ossification literally means to make bone. This amazing process is what allows our skeletons to grow and repair themselves throughout our lives. Now, there are two main ways ossification happens. One way is when bone forms directly from a thin, fibrous membrane. This is how the flat bones of our skull are formed. The other, more common way is by replacing cartilage. When we are babies, much of our skeleton is actually made of a softer, flexible material called cartilage. As we grow, special cells called osteoblasts arrive and begin replacing the cartilage model with hard, mineralized bone, starting from the middle of the bone and working their way to the ends. This is how our long bones, like our arms and legs, grow and harden. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about bones. Number 1, you're actually born with more bones than you have as an adult. They're not like falling out of your body. A newborn baby is born with about 300 bones. As the baby grows, many of these smaller bones fuse together. For example, the bones in the skull start as separate plates to allow for the baby's head to safely pass through the birth canal and to accommodate a growing brain. By the time you reach adulthood, you have just 206 bones. This fusion process is a natural part of development that helps to create a stronger and more stable skeleton. So oddly enough, as we grow and our skeleton gets bigger, our bone count gets smaller by almost a third. Number 2, the smallest bone in your body is in your ear. The tiniest bone in the human body is called the stapes, and it's located in your middle ear. It's only about 3 by 2.5 millimeters, which is roughly the size of a grain of rice. The name stapes is Latin for stirrup, and it does kind of resemble a stirrup. This minuscule bone plays a giant role in our ability to hear. The stapes is one of 3 tiny bones in the ear collectively known as the ossicles. They work together to transmit sound vibrations from the eardrum to the inner ear. Without the stapes, we wouldn't be able to hear the world around us. It's a great example of how something incredibly small can have a huge impact. Number 3, your bones are blood cell factories. While we often think of bones as just the framework for our bodies, they have another crucial job. They're responsible for producing our blood cells. Inside the center of our larger bones, there's a soft, spongy tissue called bone marrow. This is where blood cells are produced through a process called hematopoiesis. This whole factory is run by remarkable master cells called hematopoietic stem cells. Think of these as blank canvases that can become any type of blood cell the body needs. When your body sends out signals like needing more oxygen or fighting an infection, these stem cells get the message. They then multiply and transform into the specific cell that's required, whether it's a red blood cell, a specific type of white blood cell, or a platelet. This on demand production system is incredibly efficient. Bone marrow is constantly at work producing billions of new blood cells every single day to replace old ones and respond to the body's needs. This continuous supply is what keeps our blood fresh and functional, making our bones not just an important part of the skeletal system, but also a vital part of our circulatory and immune systems. Number 4. There's only one bone in your body that is not connected to any other bone. Every bone in your skeleton is connected to at least one other bone, with one exception: the hyoid bone. The hyoid is a U-shaped bone that's located in the front of your neck, just below your chin. It's held in place by muscles and ligaments. The hyoid bone is incredibly important for speaking and swallowing. It supports the tongue and serves as an attachment point for many of the muscles in your neck and throat. Because it's not connected to other bones, it allows for a wider range of tongue and larynx movement, which is essential for our ability to articulate our words and to enjoy our food. Number 5, your skeleton is constantly rebuilding itself. You might think of your skeleton as a fixed and unchanging structure, but it's actually a dynamic and living organ that is constantly undergoing a process of renewal. This remodeling involves the removal of old bone and the formation of new bone. It happens thanks to two types of specialized cells: osteoclasts, which break down old bone, and osteoblasts, which build new bone. The breakdown process is fascinating. Osteoclasts attach to the bone's surface and secrete a mix of acids and enzymes that dissolve the bone minerals and break down the collagen. The dissolved minerals, like calcium and phosphate, are then reabsorbed into the bloodstream, where they can be used for other important body functions or recycled to build new bone. Without this constant cycle of repair, our skeletons would weaken over time. Tiny cracks and damage from everyday use would accumulate, causing our bones to become brittle and much more likely to fracture. This constant renewal actually replaces your entire skeleton about every 10 years. Now for some news you can use. Want to keep your bones strong and healthy for years to come? One of the best things you can do is engage in weight-bearing exercises. These are activities that make you move against gravity while staying upright. Think walking, hiking, jogging, dancing, and climbing stairs. These types of exercises put a healthy stress on your bones. This stress signals to your body that your bones need to be stronger, and in response, your body increases bone density. It's a fantastic way to naturally encourage the bone remodeling process we just learned about. Even simple things like jumping jacks or playing a sport like tennis or basketball can make a big difference in keeping your skeleton healthy throughout your life. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, do you think it's true that ounce for ounce, our bones are stronger than steel? Well, that's a fact. The key phrase here is ounce for ounce. When we think about how strong a material is, we often talk about the tensile strength, which is the ability to resist being pulled apart. While a solid bar of steel is stronger than a bone of the exact same size, steel is also 4 times more dense than bone, so a steel bar would be much heavier than a bone of the same size. But imagine we made them the same weight. If we have a 1 pound bar of bone and a 1 pound bar of steel, the 1 pound steel bar would be very thin, while the 1 pound bone bar would be much larger and thicker. Now, which one could hold more weight before it snaps? The 1 pound steel bar would break under a pulling force of about 17,000 pounds, but the 1 pound bone bar, because it's so much thicker for the same weight, could withstand nearly 23,000 pounds of force. So when you compare them pound for pound, Bone is the clear winner. This incredible strength to weight ratio is thanks to their brilliant composite structure, a perfect blend of flexible collagen protein and hard, reinforcing calcium phosphate minerals. It's a masterpiece of natural engineering. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about bones with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.